Good morning. My name is Abby Rasmussen. For the Construction 454, learning how to use a new software or technology independent project, I chose the software Rhino. I can show you how it looks here on my browser. If I zoom out of everything, excuse me. Rhino, once you've downloaded it and put it on your browser, looks like this right here. And then when you open it, it'll ask you if you want to create a new project or open an existing project, and it'll give you a couple of different scales that you can use. It'll offer you, I can demonstrate it. It will offer you to open a large type of project in feet or inches. It'll offer you to use a grid that's measured in millimeters. If you click on new, and I usually select large objects, feet and inches, so it might be opening that for me right now, but I'll close it since I already have it open down here. And my learning objective was I thought the best way to learn Rhino, since I knew that it was a 3D modeling technology, would be to create a small 3D modeled version of my own house. It is not perfect. Some of the proportions are not exactly what they are in real life, but it was difficult for me to make those real life measurements, so I got it as close as possible. To be able to better walk through the model that I've created, I use this layering menu over here. All of the objects that I have within this model are contained in layers on this side of the menu. And the easiest way to look inside this house is to take off the roof planes and, if I can move this here, to remove the ceiling layer. And that will show you what the inside of the house really looks like. So again, it's not the most detailed version of a model that I could make with Rhino, but it is the best I felt I could learn in a beginning phase because it is kind of a complicated technology. So what I would love to show are the different rooms of this house. I have some furniture in here that demonstrates kind of what area of the house is where. I have doors that I've created right here, maybe a little bit crude looking, but in the places where actual doors are in the house. There are two kind of living areas, and each one of those is designated by a couch, as you can see here. When I select any object in this model, it becomes highlighted like this, and I'm able to move it around using these arrows, which makes it really easy to move and navigate things around the model. So some of the furniture I was able to find on a different software and bring in, and other types of the furniture, like the kitchen cabinets here or this table, I was able to create using basic shapes from Rhino. And this as well, I was able to create. There are bedrooms over here, a hallway, and in the bathrooms, I was actually able to find a sink and toilet model that I was able to insert. So you can see how in a real life situation, using Rhino to model an actual project from the start, it'd be easy to designate certain rooms using furniture. So I'd love to demonstrate. As you can see right now, it's been lagging a little bit, my computer, especially when I try to select or move any of the objects. And that is because I learned while I was using Rhino that there are different ways that you can render your model while you're working in it. So if you click this drop-down menu in the title for your view frame right here, you have a number of options right here. You can see that there are a few I experimented with that I found elsewhere, but you can select a couple of other different ways to view your model. I've found that the rendered option and the Arctic option are the most detailed, but they also take up the most amount of space and the most effort for your computer to run, so sometimes that can make them a little bit slower. I mostly used this shaded option when I was actually building the model because it shows flat surfaces all the way, unlike this wireframe version, which gets a little bit messy, but it is very easy to navigate and doesn't usually lag. The way that I was able to find After I completed some of the basic modeling, which I was able to do mostly by, excuse me, I forgot to mention there are 4 different views open when you first open Rhino. There's a top-down view, a view from the front and from the right. You can also choose a couple different views by using the set view. You could do the back and the left as well, or some different perspective views. But these help to create really accurate shapes when you're trying to create something that goes perfectly up or down, left to right, things like that. So I'll show you how I was basically able to create the house shape in Rhino. I used this polygonal line tool for the most part to create the outline of the house. Automatically in Rhino, it will connect to grid lines, so that makes it very easy to create straight lines. And then if you attach it to the first point you made, you can create a closed loop. And then if you select this, and you'll notice the command line up here is taking recordings of all the actions that you do. And it's very amazing in Rhino. If you just type on your keyboard, there are any number of commands that you can use to do things with the different shapes you create inside your model. I don't know, probably the half of them just from learning this past semester, but planar surf, if you have an outline selected, will create a surface for you. And once I've created that surface, if I go back to the curve that I made around it, or if I make another curve on top of this model, let's say I created a little room here, if I select a line, I'm able to create a sort of wall by using extrude curve. You can extrude surfaces or curves, but if I want to create a 2D wall, I can use extrude curve. And it doesn't show it very well here, but this is where the other views come in handy. It'll move that, I apologize, it's behind the house, but it'll move those walls up and down for you. And you can drag and click like this, or you'll notice up here in the command line, there's a lot of different options for how you want to control it. You can just type in, we'll do 8 feet, enter how tall you want it to be, and it'll automatically go to that length. So there are a few more things I would like to show quickly. This is a software that you can download from bim.com that I discovered, and it has, if you are in the Discover selection, it has any number of different pieces of furniture that you can add to your architectural models. It's intended for that purpose. And I was able to search for things like couch, the sinks, the toilet by doing this. You can click on any model that's available, and that one doesn't have any other files, but most of them have a number of different files that you can download to just check. A lot of them will be available in Rhino, and Rhino will be able to use. I usually just use the .sketchup file because those tend to work very well. So that is where I got the beds, the refrigerator, the television, all of those pieces of furniture. Excuse me. And it was very helpful in making the house look more realistic, which I was very happy about, and making it look very nice. The last thing that I would like to show you about this model that I've created is how I made it look, how I gave it all of these, the brick on the roof and the CMU on the side and the wood on the walls. If you'll notice down here on the materials that, on the layers that have those materials, they have a material assigned to them. And the way that you do that is by adding materials in this group here, and then by selecting them like this. And then when you choose a rendered option, it should show up with the rendered material that you choose. And that was how I made it look a little bit more realistic. And I have some materials on the inside as well that I believe I showed, just that wood on the ground. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.